games. Unfortunately for the Lady Techsters, they're still finding a way to try to get over the hump. They need that one or two big plays, especially down the stretch. But yeah, if it's another close one, it'll just be par for the course of what we've done so far this year.
The Miners win the tip, and Utep will start on offense on the road, looking for their first road win of the campaign. They are 0-7 away from the Haskins Center. Give you the starting five for both teams momentarily, but initially they find Asinde down low, kicked outside, and this shot off the back iron, but a whistle blown underneath. Utep called for the foul, and La Tech will have a defensive stop.
That'll be Erin Wilson, number 2, who got caught underneath, trying to make her way to the basket to get in position for a rebound, but bowled over a player to get there.
Tensaye on the shot. She did not score in the most recent outing, as there's the La Tech starting five. Same starting five for Brooke Storer, her 8th season with the Lady Techsters. Looking for win number 130 in Ruskin. She's had a lot of success with La Tech throughout the years. Robertson, cross-court pass to Robin Lee. She'll drive inside the paint, turning but traveling while doing so.
Had a good idea to want to try to get to the lane, but she got cut off by the defense. Mari Petrie cut her off, and when she hit the brakes, dragged that pivot foot. So a foul on one end, a turnover on the other. Not the best start for either one of these teams.
Petrie, known as one of the better on-ball defenders in Conference USA, averages about 8.5 a game. There's another great on-ball defender. Robin Lee got a hand in there, nearly took it away from Wilson. Locked it down low. That's an errant pass, and Morris is there to track it down. The TV kicks it. Robertson, who did not have a point in her most recent outing, is on the board and gets us started in the scoring column.
Such an oddity to see a 0 in that column for Robertson on the last game, but nice feed inside by Nativi to get it to her and get the easy bucket.
Maybe even more odd than not having any points for Robertson. She didn't have a rebound either in 18 minutes of action, sitting at 899 rebounds all time. She needs just one more to hit 900. Pump fake, drives to the bucket, gets it to fall, and the foul.
Oh, when the outside official is going to rule that off, they said she traveled before the bucket. They were looking at the foul on the inside, but the side official said she traveled on the way in, so another turnover for the Lady Techsters, take the points off the board.
And of course, the side official does get initial ruling, and so that travel happened prior to the foul. 2-2 in the early going. Both post players have been active early on. Robertson and Asinde, as Asinde's fouled from behind. Those two connecting again right on the elbow. When you look at the post presence in this ball game, both individuals averaging nearly 10 rebounds a game. They're both over double figures in scoring. Who do you feel like has the advantage in the early going?
Well, it's been a minute here to try to see either one of them get established. I think Robertson, the fact that she got one early with that bucket, of course, she just goes to the bench while we're talking to her as Brooke Storer makes a quick substitution, which has been her pattern all year long. You like to see that Robertson got established and that Nativi found her. Good idea that she not only got established, they got the ball to her.
This one turned over in the ball game. In place of Robertson is Kate Thompson. Went over the top of Thompson, and Bates was there for the interception. Outside, there's the hit for Salma Bates. The transfer from Tulane has the first make from outside.
And we of course know that that's what she likes to do, shooting that outside shot. Now, over her last 4 games and the start of this game, 12 of her last 13 makes have been from deep. She has just one inside the big line over the last 4 games.
Asinde with a pump fake, guarded by Thompson. Asinde, also known as a great passer in the post, fighting for the rebound here, kicks off her left shoe, and it settles in at the La Tech bench. Lady Techsters 6-5 at home this season, just 3-8 in conference play. It's an oddity seeing Louisiana Tech struggle the way that they've had. Of course, they had a 12-win season last year in Conference USA, a trip to the WNIT, along with 19 total wins. Won 7 of their last 8 in the regular season before going to Frisco and playing in the Conference USA tournament. Can they find lightning in a bottle down the stretch again here in 2024?
You alluded to it too at the top of the broadcast. These rosters, they feel like they've got the personnel in place, and Brooke Storer has told us that before in previous games here this season, saying, I've got the players, we just need to get those break. We need that one big break to stop the skid and get that confidence back. And with 2.5 weeks of the season, they're not going to catch up to the top, but they can certainly increase their standings getting ready for the conference tournament and get some momentum as well.
It always feels like the Lady Techsters make some noise in March, This one tipped out of bounds. They call it on the floor.
And that's going to be on Asinde as she fell over the player. That's a tough break for Utep with the ball being loose. It looked like it could have been a turnover. As you take another look, she's stuck. She has nowhere to go. Does Robin Lee. Ball goes loose, and then Asinde trips on top of her, and she gets called for the foul.
Off the baseline. Pump fake.
Beautiful fake
from Lee. And it turns into 2 on the baseline.
And they take advantage of that break from the foul on Asinde, keeping possession and getting points off of it.
That short corner has worked well for La Tech early, up 5. And there's a foul on the ball. This time it goes against Morris.
Yeah, that'll be a cheap foul. Just getting her feet caught up causes the trip. Even early on, and you know, Kyle, as games develop, we talk about the importance of possession. Just a couple of turnovers for UTEP, but those 2 turnovers had led to 5 of the 7 points for the Lady Texters here early.
Morris takes a seat, the freshman. Guard play has been really a big talking point for the Lady Texters. Who makes the big shots and who steps up from a scoring standpoint? They certainly have the post presence. Speaking of, a foul down low as Kate Thompson will be the guilty party. But who's going to step up from a guard standpoint out of that La Tech backcourt to make something happen? Of course, in crunch time, like you said, those tightly contested games, you learn a lot about your ball club.
No, absolutely. And Morris is one of those players, of course, she's on the bench right now, got the start. She's one of those players that Brooke Store would like the ball in her hands down late. We know that Bates likes to shoot from the outside. Lee can be physical, and Nativi's really good at the assist. She doesn't look to score a ton, but can dish, as you see somebody who knows how to score, Asinde, in underneath with the up and under.
Had a fantastic rebound, used every inch of the 6'2 frame to get there, and now on the opposite end, Robin Lee drives down the floor and has the and one.
Yeah, you were just talking about the guard play coming off of that make from Asinde. The Lady Texters wasted no time getting down the floor, and Robin Lee with the tough drive gets it off the glass and gets a chance for the 3-point play.
4 early points for Lee, who averages just 8 a game. She steps to the line. Only a 51% shooter from the guard spot. Certainly a place where she can see an uptick in her ball game. Chance here to complete the 3-point play. And she does just that, as La Tech is the first into double digits.
And she is coming off a game where she had 9 points. In fact, she was the second leading scorer in that game against FIU. Their most recent loss, we talked about Paris Guillory, who had 14, and then Robin Lee had 9.
Asinde into the corner. Sinsaye trying to feed it down low, and there's a blocking foul called against Brannon. First foul on her, 3rd team foul against the Lady Texters.
A bit of a herky-jerky start here for these two teams, not finding any fluidity in this ball game as she hit the ground, and when she hit the deck, winds up getting called for the foul.
Asinde, pump fake, and there's another foul. This time it's against Worm. Like you said, very choppy in the early going. No team really has a rhythm, and both teams trying to work out of the half court. There just hasn't been a whole lot of smooth so far.
The smoothest play we saw was moments ago when Asinde made a bucket and then Lee went down for the fast break layup and converted. Well, not say a fast break off of the make, but she made it look like a fast break. That's really the only time we've seen the ball go up and down without a foul or a turnover.
And even that one ended in a foul.
Yeah.
Asinde, 67% from the line, and she gets there often. That is her 157th free throw attempt on the season. Playing down low, she certainly gets the foul drawn quite a bit. This one initially called as La Tech basketball, and they reverse it. It'll stay with Utep, and Brooke Storer not happy with losing a possession there. They get it back quickly. Vukovic didn't waste any time getting the basketball back, and now a foul called in transition.
Well, this is starting to set up to be a free throw shooting competition between the team that shoots 67% in UTEP and the team that shoots 68% in Louisiana Tech, because we're 4 minutes into this ball game, and let's see what I mean. The foul we have, we've got 5 for Louisiana Tech, we've got 3 for UTEP.
That one's actually even going to be 4 for UTEP.
4,
so
okay,
both teams are in the bonus from here on out. The TV outside for Vukovic. Lee turns on the afterburners, kicks it off the glass, but too strong. Rebound settles in with Petrie.
Well, you can see already, though, Robin Lee has got that nose to the basket tonight. That's the second aggressive drive. That one didn't go. The other one wound up being an and one opportunity when she made the bucket. You can see she's trying to get to the basket.
Lopped it down low, and you can see the aggressiveness from the Lady Techsters defensively, trying to get underneath Jugadoras, and in doing so, left her wide open. Back to a one-bucket ball game.
That's a push in the back.
So Jugadoras with the bucket on one end and the foul on the other, and Louisiana Tech will go to the free throw line when we come back. The Bulldogs with an early three-point lead. La Tech over Utep in Ruston.
The Conference USA Basketball Tournament Championships come to Huntsville on March 12th through the 16th at Probst Arena. Join us for March Madness in the Rocket City and enjoy all the big city amenities coupled with small town hospitality that the #1 city in the U.S. has to offer. We look forward to having you in Huntsville. Contact your team's ticket office for tickets and more information.
Do you snore?
Like a freight train.
Do you kick at night when falling asleep?
Like a mule.
Do you keep your significant other from getting quality rest?
Yes.
Then an adjustable base is the solution you need. At American Mattress Outlet, we'll help you get the sleep you deserve. Wake up on the right side of the bed, because strangling your spouse is against the law.
We're American Mattress Outlet. You don't have to go into debt to get a great night's sleep.
Johnny's Pizza House is bringing the bayou straight to your plate. Sweep the Swamp is back, and we've captured the very essence of Louisiana in every single slice.
Hey, you ain't got to feel it.
Loaded with crawfish, shrimp, a generous taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, a kick of jalapenos, sprinkled with Cajun spices, and topped with mozzarella cheese. It's where tradition meets taste, and where every slice is a celebration. Gather around the table and roll up your sleeves with Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice of Cajun cuisine.
Opportunity on the radar for Utep to get their first road win of the 2023-24 season. They'll have to do so behind really talented trio across the board. Petrie, Wilson, and Asinde all averaging over 8.5 points per game, and they've been even better since conference play got underway.
Yeah, and it's something that'll be a challenge tonight because, as you mentioned, this is a team that's winless on the road, so the numbers look good, but can they put it together away from the home arena and try to do it here in an important game? As we mentioned, both of these teams having suffered losses, 4 or 5 for Utep, 6 or 7 for the Lady Techsters.
The only individual out of that trio that has scored so far was Asinde. She had the one field goal make and then had a 1 of 2 trip from the line. As this one on the way from Worm bounces off the back iron, and a 1 of 2 trip for her as well.
Louisiana Tech 4 of 6 from the floor early on, 67%. Utep 3 of 7 for 43%.
Jugadoras cut off on the logo. Down into the corner. Go right back to Asinde. Jump stop in the lane, and that's an aggressive take. You'll see that all night long if you give her an opportunity.
Now, I haven't seen Asinde play in person. This is my first time to see her, but boy, she glides just long strides and gets down the lane very easily for Utep. There's a nice shot there up and in for Louisiana Tech and Worm.
And Worm, the Allen, Texas native, knocks it down. Veteran for this Lady Techsters ball club. Pump fake from Zeta. Petrie lines up a 3, left it short. Under 4 to play here in the opening quarter. Both teams still trying to feel each other out offensively. It has not been clean from a turnover standpoint, but from a shooting standpoint, Louisiana Tech would love to stay at the number that they're at,
absolutely.
71% right now. They'll try it from deep. That 3 kicked off the back iron, but an offensive board keeps the second chance alive.
It's a great job by Nativi, just making her way through the lane and found the ball coming to her. Vukovic tries to put up another one and comes up off on that one.
Asinde secures the board, second in the conference in points per game, also second in rebounding. A rare 1-2 punch for this Miners ball club. There goes Zeta turning on the Jets and getting down low for the 2.
And Nativi found herself in a bad spot because once Zeta got around the curve, Nativi was about a half step behind. And if you're even, as you know, you're leaving, right? The player has the advantage and she made the turn. But again, they get it down on the inside. And once again, they find Mackenzie Worm inside to get a bucket.
Her season high is 7. She has 5 in the last 4 minutes of gameplay. And like you said, even and leave, and that was exactly what happened there. She got even with her defender, and a phenomenal pass down low set up by Vukovic, and all of a sudden she was open for the two.
Yeah, and that's one of those, and both of these teams will have to do it. If a player gets past you like that, you can't be in the defensive position anymore. You've got to sprint to get ahead of them because they have the advantage on the floor.
Another aggressive take from Asinde. Looked like Worm might have taken a shot on that one, nearly a travel.
Oh, that's beautiful up and under.
Went around the defender, but still a good adjustment from Tinsaye to make it tough, and it turns into a bucket for Zita on the opposite end.
And she made Tough look easy as Zita crosses from the right side to the left side and goes reverse. She had a little bit of a distance between her and the backboard as well, but Zita with the reverse, beautiful shot for the Miners.
Just in a couple of possessions, Zita has shown an impressive first step. Really doesn't waste a whole lot of time off to the races. There's the foul.
So you say that last possession, you see the foul there. Zita had 6 points the last time these two teams met, took 2 field goal attempts, made them both, and hit a couple of free throws as well in that ball game.
So Bates will go to the free throw line for the first time tonight. On the season, 76%. 2 points, 2 steals in the loss on Saturday afternoon against FIU. That was a 68-51 final score. She knocks down both. Both teams coming off of a loss. Utep fell to Middle Tennessee in a defensive battle on Saturday, 56-41 the final. This is not an easy stretch for this Miners ball club. That was picked to finish 5th in the preseason poll.
And a tough loss. And their defense, they did so well, holding Middle Tennessee the lowest point total in conference play, second lowest total on the entire season, yet still it was a double-digit loss.
They've been very good inside the Don Haskins Center, 9-4. It's just that road woes that continue to show up for UTEP, and it's really affected them as the season's gone on. First year again under Keitha Adams. It's her 17th season with the Miners, but has returned back to the head coaching role in El Paso. Robertson with a phenomenal move goes over the defender to make that one off the glass.
And give Robertson credit because Vedrova, the defender, went with her as to where she was going, but she was still able to power it up and in.
Charge drawn. Hitting the floor tough was Paris Guillory, our highlighted player early. That's a play that's maybe not going to show up in the box score, but certainly Brooke Storer very happy with that.
Yep. And if one more tonight space because she's the ball game. This is a team that averages 17 a ball game, and they are well on their way to hitting that clip. That's not a good sign for the Miners.
45 seconds remaining in the first. Robertson backs down a defender, missed it. And then underneath, the foul called on Guillory. There have been some open shots that have been missed by Louisiana Tech. And it's turned into extra possessions for UTEP. Other than that, both teams shooting pretty well to start the quarter. And have now flipped the script over the last couple minutes.
Yeah, both of them at 50%. UTEP 6 of 12 from the floor. Louisiana Tech is 7 of 14. The biggest difference, or where you'll find the difference, is what you're seeing right now. Louisiana Tech's hit 4 or 5 free throws. That's just the second make for UTEP at the line. And Louisiana Tech has the only three-pointer made. There's your point difference right there.
Tech started hot, has cooled off since then. UTEP cooled off early, but they've made 5 of their last 6 from the field, and then so hits both free throws. About a 7-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Guillory, who had 14 in the most recent outing, on the drive. They tried to find it to Robertson. Couldn't handle it and had it tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with La Tech. TV searching and finds Lee. So 7 to shoot. Robertson pulls up from the baseline. Lee fighting for the rebound and couldn't handle it. It's out of play, and the final possession should belong to Utep.
And it looked like in that possession, Kyle, it seemed like the Lady Texans had made up their mind. They wanted to go to Robertson, even if she was being tightly covered and had to force a shot. Instead of seeing a player cut through or maybe try to swing it, look for a drive, they kind of had their mind set. They were going on the inside. That time, she just overshot the rim.
Aaliyah Stanton at the top of the key. Final opportunity for Utep in the first quarter. It's put up before the buzzer, but not really a great look for the freshman Vidrova. And it'll be lots.
As we talked about, lost 6 of 7. They're still trying to, believe it or not, with two weeks left to go, still trying to find that identity for consistency. That's been the biggest problem for Louisiana Tech.
Now Robertson with 21 career double-doubles, just one this season. Where on the opposite side, Jana Sinde has 10 double-doubles on the campaign alone. How about the spin from the elbow from Brannon down low, and the junior shows off the moves.
It's so good to see Brandon come back after missing almost an entire calendar year because of that injury, and you can see that brace. It was so good. We were here doing the game when she made her first game back, and to see her continue to play and get out there, it's a great sign.
And she has a rebound to secure a stop. Great start to the second quarter for Brandon and the Lady Texters. Cross-court pass, signing up for Morris. She lets it fly, but can't connect. La Tech, 1 of 3 now from beyond the arc. Utep has not hit a shot from downtown yet in 2 tries. And that's really not the identity. You talked about identity and consistency. If these 2 programs are going to find it this season, it's most likely going to take place in the paint.
Yes, and one of those big statistics and things you'll see in the paint is rebounding, and right now it's an 11-5 advantage for Utep, something the Lady Texters need to be careful of.
Take a look at the aggressive drive from Sal. She's been fantastic down the stretch, really played better and better. 15 games this year. Averages 2.5. She's got a chance to surpass that stat from the free throw line here. 60% on the year, but now 3 of 3. The transfer from New Mexico Junior College. Started the season late in the bench for the Miners and has earned more and more playing time as the calendar year has gone on.
Boy, it hasn't that become a phrase you're so used to saying now, it rolls off the tongue, a transfer from, and then fill in the blank, right? I mean, every game you're trying to identify yourself with a roster and where these players are all coming from.
I feel like with Louisiana Tech, too, they benefit from having individuals in their program that return. Much of their returning production from last year, that's outside of a couple names, are back in the fold for the Lady Texters as this shot is off the mark from one of those returners, Nativi. Full head of steam, falling away from the bucket. Stanton does not get the friendly roll, and it's out of bounds back to Louisiana Tech. You mentioned the transfer portal and how much it has played a factor in collegiate athletics. How do you feel like both of these teams have been affected by it in recent memory?
Well, I think if you and I can get together next year and ask that question, I think we'll have a better read because everything is just starting to develop, in that realm where it's completely changing the game. And I'm not going to try to date myself and make it obvious when I was playing, but when I was playing, when I had my playing days there, if you didn't start, you worked your rear end off to try to get playing time and try to beat the guy on the team who's better than you. Now it seems like if I'm not playing, well, then you as a coach don't know what you're doing. I'm better than what you think I am, so you know what? I'm going to go somewhere else.
You wouldn't have done that if you were at the University of Tulsa and you had an opportunity. You started from the jump.
Nobody wanted me anyway. But it has. It completely changed the game. And when you're seeing teams coming in that have no freshmen and everything's built on transfers, because then what that leads to, and this is why I said it'd be easier to answer that question if we got together again, how are you going to now build your program, right, in the future? You have to look at how you build it. Is it always going to be transfers, or are you going to go out in traditional route and go recruit some players?
That's the thing, is you also have to re-recruit every player
every year
you've ever
Absolutely.
recruited yourself.
Absolutely.
So just because you have them for 1 year, doesn't mean you'll have them.
And then
then
you throw in the influence of NIL deals, both on the men's and women's side. Certainly it's bigger as of this point on the men's side, but we certainly know that women's game is grabbing its share of the NIL. I mean, it absolutely makes it a full-time gig recruiting, even for coaches who don't like it, because you have to recruit your own players. So I have to recruit mine so you don't go get them, right? I mean, it completely changes everything as you see the drive there and the foul.
And it'll continue to change as well as teams start to figure out this new era, figure out the new ways of really recruiting and building your roster. At some point, it will play a factor that the more experienced teams in college basketball, and maybe it already has felt that way with UConn, Purdue on the men's side. You've got LSU, of course, on the women's side, who's had Iowa, that's had a lot of success this year. Those experienced teams that have been together for quite some time will start to compound wins. That was a great take from Bates again. She's been off to a hot start, leading away for La Tech.
It was a hesitation dribble, too, on the right side. She was driving, stopped for just a moment, but that little hesitation made the defender buckle, and as soon as she did, Bates went right to the basket and got the layup. It was an excellent drive and control of the dribble.
Hit the early three and then went to the line for a pair early, and now completes the three-point play. 8 on the board for the senior.
Yep, she's put herself in position now to be the game's leading scorer. And that field goal that she made with that layup was the first bucket for Louisiana Tech at 2.5 minutes.
Yet they still hold an 8-point advantage. The free throw line has been kind to Louisiana Tech in the early going. Here's Powell. Stanton weaving through defenders. They find it to Asinde. She lost her footing. And a trip called on Robertson.
I think they're going to get Guillory on the outside. Guillory's the one that dropped down. Robertson was behind her. I think they're going to call it on Guillory. And they did. Got her with the leg. That's her second foul. So she has 2 and Brandon has 2. Brandon's on the bench and Guillory's about to go join her as Vukovic comes back in.
We talked about the bonus playing a factor early and those fouls piling up for both teams in the opening period. Now La Tech has 3 here in the second. And now they'll call an offensive foul. This one goes against Utep. That's the second on Aaron Wilson. The whistles have been plentiful to start things off.
They're working. I didn't see what started the conversation, but if there is a way that an official warns a head coach, Keitha Adams has been warned on the Utep bench. It looked like that whistle was going in for a technical, and she turned around and did the right thing and walked away.
27 years and 500 wins at the Division I. 500 wins in the recent against Jacksonville State. There's a drive and a lay. Vukovic goes inside for 2.
7 points in the last outing for Vukovic, but remember, just a couple weeks ago, she came off of that stretch where she had 52 points in 4 games. She had 34 points prior to that for the entire season, so she had really hit a hot stretch.
La Tech continues to clamp down defensively. They have their largest lead of the evening. Drive, foul, no friendly roll for Gianna Norris, but she will have 2 at the line.
Great job by Morris to be able to keep control and get that shot up off the glass, drawing that contact as she saw the lane. We've seen Robin Lee drive the lane a few times. Now we see Morris driving the lane. She'll have a chance to do it at the free throw line.
Louisiana Tech. It's really all been the defensive side for the Lady Techsters. 38% allowed shooting for UTEP, and of course the scoring drought that's now up over 3 minutes. That's how they've built this lead. Nothing really jumping out from the box score standpoint, but a 6-0 run. This one would make it 7, and it does for Morris. What's impressed you the most about this start from Louisiana Tech?
Well, the way the Lady Techsters have been able to find their way to get to the basket and get to the free throw line, but they've been able to penetrate in the paint. You mentioned how we might find this game being won inside that rectangle, and so far it's been Louisiana Tech that's had more success driving the lane.
Lofted, perfect pass, and it sets up Sal down low for the lay-in.
You're right, that was a perfect pass. That was a touch pass over a defender and led her right to the basket.
Cross-court pass, there's another great feed. Rebounded underneath, and a foul will be called on Najibi. Seen that a couple times, just going for a loose basketball, getting tangled up, and a whistle because of it.
And a little bit of a quick shot from Salma Bates. We know she likes to shoot the three. That cross-court pass, she was launching it. As soon as it touched her hand, she might want to hold on just another half second just to try to set her shot. That time went up a little quick, and it was a miss. Now 1 of 7 from deep are the Lady Techsters. Utep's only tried 2 3-pointers.
See what Utep has offensively. Lady Techsters have been suffocating defensively, and there's nothing, especially penetration-wise, other than finding a post player for Utep. They do it again for Asinde. Stanton thought about the three. She drives to the logo. Her floater falls. That's one way to do it, but still not a high percentage shot.
No, not the easy way to do it, but she was able to stop. It looked like her ankle buckled a little bit when she was trying to make that move and come to a quick stop, but off balance, she was able to get it to go in. Now you see the Miners have changed their defense now.
Help side for Lee. Helps misdirect the shot.
But again, it's Lee driving to the basket, right? We've seen that consistently from her so far through the first quarter and a half, and maybe Utep has realized, you know what, we're getting beat in the paint. Let's go zone and see what we can try to force the Lady Techsters out of it.
Back to Asinde. Fouled. Kate Thompson will pick up her second. And Asinde to the stripe. She had 8 points, 11 rebounds on the Saturday matchup with Middle Tennessee. She has a chance to surpass that from the line when we come back.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota equipment. Part of the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S., they offer the versatility and reliability to get the job done right, all year round. Right now at participating dealers, get a Kubota compact tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months.
To contest the new Whata Wings from Whataburger.
What?
Real wings have bones. And these boneless wings are actually premium chicken tender bites tossed in one of Whataburger's famous sauces. Honey butter, honey barbecue, buffalo, or
Sweet and spicy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Those do not turn these Whata Wings into real wings. I know what a real wing is. That it's not
Whata Wings. Whataburger, Whata Wings. It's Whata Wings.
28-20 in the early going, still midway through the second quarter. Lots of game left to be played.
That's the fan.
Oh,
he
yeah?
is every men's game, every women's game. And you watch now with free throws, he's going to stand up when they start play. He puts on, it's a one-man show. It's high kick routine, it's moonwalk, it's jumping on the chairs. He's taking a break right now because we've got a timeout on the floor. That is your most loyal Louisiana Tech fan. He's a librarian here on campus.
Wow.
And he shows up and he brings the energy. Look, I know we just got camera off of him. Look, he's up there stretching, getting ready now. Okay?
He did just kick to the left. Here he is.
All right, here we go. Jumping. Here we go. Hey! Whee!
Wow. I like it.
Yes, absolutely. He brings the energy.
We're going to have to bank some replays here and go back and take a look at it and see if it affects it. Here's a look. There it is.
I'll tell you, he brings the energy. That's a great capture right there to see him doing a high-step routine.
Our crew is 2 steps ahead of us all the time. Doing a great job as always. So is he. That's the effort. Doesn't necessarily help this time. 2 of 2 for Asinde at the line. She has 9 points. Averages 16 on the game. Another turnover here for Utep. The Miners get it back. From the free throw line. Back to Asinde. She can pull up from their mid-range, doesn't necessarily want to. Instead, she'll drive to the paint and floats it in.
Boy, and she got that ball to die, kind of like your wedge shot from what, about 140 out. She got that thing to die on the back of the rim on an awkward shot in the paint, but got it to go.
Yeah, and her ball hit the bottom of the net like mine hit the bottom of the water.
Hey, but you know what? You look good doing it.
That's if only you got strokes for that one.
Right, exactly.
That would be nice. This one into the corner, open shot for Nativi, and she drills it. First 3 of the second quarter for Louisiana Tech.
Nativi, a 32% three-point shooter.
Now she's posted up down low, splitting a couple defenders and driving through for the bucket.
They're going to get that foul on Worm coming over on the help defense. Nativi was in a bad spot in terms of giving up some size to Sal, who positioned herself down there in the paint. Watch the pass come into her. You see she's already gotten Nativi on her back. Then Worm comes over to help, but she gets it with the body contact, and now a chance for a three-point play.
Give credit to Utep. As soon as the 3 was made, Nativi having to get back down the floor, but not just into defensive position. She had to get underneath a Utep ball handler to even give herself an opportunity, and that's where the help side defense came in.
We were talking about how it was tough to find a flow in this ball game early because of turnovers and whistles. God, we should probably make the point. Bates, Morris, Nativi, and Robertson all have 1 foul for Louisiana Tech. Guillory, Brandon, Thompson, Worm, and all have 2 fouls already.
Starting to add up. Utep in the bonus for the final 3 minutes. Robertson fouled in the process. And again, neither team has been clean from fouls here in this first half. It'll start to add up more and more as we go along.
Yeah, got to pay attention to that. Robertson probably had an easier shot had she put it up right away. She got that pass, had a little bit of a hesitation, and then went over to the right side of the rim. See now with the rebound now, we talked about that. She needed 1. She has it. It's 900 now in her career.
What a career she's had. Just the 13th Lady Techster to score 1,500 points and 900 rebounds in her career. Also ranks number 3 in free throw percentage, and you can see that paying off as well.
What a blessing for any coach that has a big player who you know is going to draw contact, but then can go to the line and shoot 82% from the line.
She's only missed 10 all season. Closing in on 2.5 to play in the first half of action. Stick around for halftime. We're going to catch up with the bowling team from Louisiana Tech, as there's a 3 dropped out of the corner. Tinsaye knocks it down, and that's her first make of the night. La Tech looking for an answer. They go right back to Robertson.
You know, and that's one of those where Salma Bates is going to draw the defense because they know she likes to shoot the three-pointer. When they try to go, she drives the baseline. Now you're at a man advantage. You got a player down. She dumps it inside for the easy 2.
You mentioned the quick trigger earlier in the quarter from Bates. Maybe that plays a factor. They saw initially she wants to shoot the ball quickly, so when she drives and kicks, there's that much more emphasis from a defensive standpoint.
Don't want to try to give it up because they know she's the team's best three-pointer and shoots that most consistently. That time she helped turn it into points, and now another turnover for the Miners. That's 11.
Guillory, right side for Bates. They go right back to Guillory. She lines up the shot and knocks it down. Guillory with her first make, and the freshman starting to light things up over the last few games.
And while Bates shoots 31% from the three-point line and has many more attempts, Guillory's a 42% three-point shooter.
Missed 10 games earlier this season. Robertson tips it to Guillory. She tries it again with some confidence, but left it short. All of a sudden, La Tech settling into the 3-ball. Stanton to So.
It's quite the inside matchup with So and also Asinde in there. 2 6'3s there on the block. Big size for the Miners off the glass.
You talked about the post play from Utep. You have both Asinde and So down low, and then it's the guard play that takes over. Yep. Stanton takes it herself. Bates out of the corner. She hits it from downtown. The Lady Techsters have hit 3 in 5 possessions. 8 points. Now to 11 for Salma Bates. Six-second difference. Stanton on the baseline, cut off by Bates. So can't handle it. They're going to call a push.
Oh, they got that foul on the TV, which is unfortunate for her and for Louisiana Tech because the pass went through her hands. It was set to be another turnover, but she had her arms up and hit in the back, and that's what they called on that shove.
13.6 left, and now Utep has an opportunity to settle in to the front court and put together, of course, points on the board. So keeps going to the free throw line. I feel like every time we look up, she's at the stripe. Just 3 of 6 from the line, but she has 7 points.
And how about this? On the season, she'd only been to the line 15 times. She's almost halfway through her season's total here in the first half.
That's that too-big mentality that Adams has gone with tonight. It certainly helped in certain areas for UTEP, but they trail by 9.
Well, here's where we talked about this. Who has the ball down the stretch? They want the ball in Morris's hand. Let's see what she can trigger for the Lady Texters.
They give it to Bukovic. Out to Bates, 4 to shoot. Robertson, turn around in the lane, and she drills it.
Boy, that is very well executed.
Teams went all the way into the front court, never actually settled in at the half-court mark to get us ready, but we are back underway inside the Thomas Assembly Center. Carl Malone Court, lots of history inside this building. We were talking about it in the most recent break. 3 national championships for this Lady Texters bunch, and of course, trying to build some momentum toward March with a win at home. The TV thought about the 3. Instead, she'll drive and kicks back out to Lee. Bates to Robertson. Lee off the screen. Nativi open in the corner. And a foul called late. It'll go against Asinde, and it was a late whistle, but 3 free throws to come to start this third quarter.
Boy, that's a play where the shot has already left. The shot clock is getting down. You're getting them to launch a corner 3, and then to get one where you get a hand to the face. And then she just kind of runs into it. Doesn't even hit her airborne. She was back on the ground, just stuck that hand up and hit her in the head.
TV at the line. First trip for her at the stripe. Doesn't get there a whole lot. Just 6 of 10 on the season. She hits the first, but a sharp shooter from the outside. She's hit 23s on the campaign. They actually marked it as a 2, so only 2 free throws to start. Had her foot on the line, but she hits them both. By the way, back in that initial meeting between these two programs, back on January 25th, as So knocks down a 3. She's showing off a little bit of range.
That's So's second three-pointer of the entire year. And by the way, it was 3 free throws for Nativi.
Oh,
they did give her 3. And yeah, she'd only been there 10 times this season. Another nice pass on the inside. You and I just talked about it. What does UTEP have to do? They've got to figure out a way to stop that. That's just too easy.
And she's got 12 points on the evening. But going back to that first meeting, January 25th, a win for UTEP, 61-57. Louisiana Tech led at the break in that one as well. Now, it wasn't an 11-point lead. It was a 1-point advantage for the Lady Texters. But that was overcome by UTEP at home inside the Haskins Center. This one from just inside the 3-point line, and this one ripped down off the miss by Morris. Now she'll take it. Goes underneath, but can't get enough on it. Asinde with good defense.
I think she was trying to draw a little body contact from Asinde to see if they could get another foul on her, which would have been her 3rd. There was a little bit of a contact there, but not enough to draw the whistle. But I do mention this. It's another chance for Louisiana Tech driving the basket. That has been something we have seen them do consistently all night long, being able to find lanes to get to the rim.
There's a look at the ensuing possession. Tipped out of play by Louisiana Tech. Drive and a foul again. Asinde, who got to the line often in that first half, will go right back there again.
That's going to be 2 on Robertson, and she's now the 6th Lady Texter with 2 fouls.
Would you rather have 6 with 2 fouls or have 3 players with 3 fouls? I think you'd rather have the 2 fouls spread out across the way.
You know, and when you sub a lot like Brookstore does, that's what you have. These fouls are spread out throughout everybody.
Nobody in the ball game has 3 fouls yet.
No, but Utep has 5 players with 2. Louisiana Tech has 6 players with 2.
They certainly continue to add up as the game has gone on. Timeout by Utep. They want to talk things over prior to the second free throw. Louisiana Tech up by a dozen at home.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota equipment. Part of the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S., they offer the versatility and reliability to get the job done right, all year round. Right now at participating dealers, get a Kubota compact tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months.
To contest the new Whataburger from Whataburger.
What?
Real wings have bones. And these boneless wings are actually premium chicken tender bites tossed in one of Whataburger's famous sauces. Honey butter, honey barbecue, buffalo, or
sweet and spicy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Those do not turn these Whata wings into real wings. I know what a real wing is. That
Whata wings. Whataburger, Whata wings. It's Whata wings.
A look at the Utep huddle led by Keitha Adams, 17th year as a head coach with Utep, 27th overall during her first stint with the Miners, posted 284 victories. Look at all the postseason appearances with the Miners. Rehired back on April 12th. She was a head coach from 01 to 2017. And there's Brooke Storer on the opposite end, 8th season with Louisiana Tech. Both head coaches sitting at an even career number. 200 wins for Storer, 500 for Adams. Who's going to upend that even number first?
And as you saw with Storer on the screen there, 4 trips to the WNIT tournament. Brooke Storer trying to build some consistency here to get this team back to the NCAA tournament. You mentioned with the history, you can't help whether you come in the media entrance, the fan entrance, the player entrance, you can't help but enter the Thomas Assembly Center and your eyes get drawn to the ceiling because of just all the banners and the history that Leon Barmore, when Brooke Storer was a player, part of this history. But I mean, it just grabs your attention. The banners are everywhere.
It really is. It encompasses the entire ceiling inside the Thomas Assembly Center, along with the brand new Conference USA flags just next to the Jumbotron as well. Beautiful venue on the campus of Louisiana Tech.
And of course, this is a program that just a couple weeks ago celebrated reaching 1,200 program victories, just the 5th in the country to reach that.
Really is
when
an
they
impressive
did it.
Mark. There goes Bates.
Again, look to the lane.
Under.
And that time Asinde was down there, but she just she gave up and didn't even try to get to the basket to cut her off. And that's going to be the bugaboo for the Miners when they leave here tonight. If they leave with a loss, they're going to go back and see drives like that and say, why didn't we try to stop this?
Early, it was Bates driving on post players. Some of these forwards that are taller, lankier, and easier to get around. That time, she just went one-on-one with Zeta, the guard, and won the race to the rim. Another defensive stop for the Lady Techsters as well. They've been very good on that end of the floor throughout the night.
Cindy had to force that shot up, did not get a clean look, and that shot went wild, goes out of bounds.
Both teams shooting an even 50%. Utep has actually been far more efficient from a shooting standpoint than Louisiana Tech, but it's La Tech winning almost every other statistical category. They do give it back here, but points off turnovers. Turnovers have continued to pile up for the Miners. And then that rebounding category also in favor of Utep. It's a very odd stat line looking at that and then looking down and seeing 15-point as the deficit.
Yeah, when you mentioned the reason why Utep's been efficient, they've only taken 26 shots. They've made 13 of them, but Louisiana Tech has taken 10 more field goal attempts.
Outside three. Tensai knocks it down. That's her second. Maybe that'll help catalyze this Utep offense.
Yeah, she didn't even take a field goal attempt in their last ball game. Played 15 minutes against Middle Tennessee. Didn't even take a shot. But in the game before that, against WKU, she scored 18, and now she's finding her offense again, and Louisiana Tech getting some offense on their end.
And Brandon fighting for the offensive board and immediately put it back up. That was textbook from a post player. You're always taught off of a rebound, keep it elevated. Another turnover for UTEP, but keep the ball elevated, don't bring it down, and that was exactly how Brandon turned that into 2 points.
Like the way how you described the textbook, that's exactly right. You bring the ball down, you're inviting everybody to get back into the play. You keep it up, you immediately start eliminating other players.
Bates trapped in the corner, desperately finds Morris. Keeps the possession going, plenty of time. Turnaround, Thompson couldn't get it up enough, but does get her own miss.
Oh, they're going to call offensive for flailing the elbow. She was battling loose ball down there. She tried to get control, and when she did, that arm came up. And time again, we talk about it. Sometimes it may not be the foul. A lot of times it's just the optics. But you see how the elbow comes out and Asinde falls back? Maybe she didn't get hit that hard, but when you combine that with that elbow coming up and out, you're going to get that called on you every time.
And in real time, it looks like it was the elbow that actually made contact. Actually looked like the left shoulder blade of Thompson that actually had the brute force. She was amongst the trees down low. Catch and shoot again. Titsaye was calling for it all the way through. Misses the three. Offensive rebound in favor of Asinde. And then Utep rolls downhill, drawing the foul in the process.
Tensai was trying to go for a personal heat check with that three-pointer. She misses, but then they get the rebound and they go back into it. That time it looked like Worm was just standing tall to get the block, but they call her with the contact. So now Thompson has 3 fouls. We were just talking about the fouls, and you were asking about how would you like it spread out. Well, just in the matter of a minute and a half, Thompson now has 3 fouls. Worm's in the game. She has 3 fouls. In fact, she's just leaving the game. So both Thompson and Worm have 3. Lativi, Brandon, and Robertson all on the floor have 2.
First free throw falls for Aaron Wilson, the junior transfer from Jacksonville. She has 8 double-doubles on the year, almost averaging a double-double, 13 points per game, 8 rebounds a game, but that was her first point of the night. She misses the second one, and she sticks with just the one. Asinde missed it off of the initial offensive board, put it back up and in.
That's a big possession for the Miners. You draw a 3rd foul on a player, and then you miss a free throw, but you get the bucket, so it's like a 3-point play. Oh, Brandon's wide open. They missed her underneath.
Toss back out to Guillory. Calling for it is Nativi. Now they go back down low to Brandon again. Had that one blocked. That time it was Wilson that blocked for it, and they call it travel on Nativi, so it will go back to Louisiana Tech. They have the lead, up by 11. Utep trying to chip away inside Thomas Assembly Center.
She said she wasn't hungry. She only wanted a bite. But this isn't just a patty melt. This is a Whataburger patty melt, the all-time favorite, with 2 all-beef patties, Monterey Jack, grilled onions, and creamy pepper sauce. So 1 bite became 2, and 2 became mine. Just a bite, huh? Mark that one down as a lesson learned. The Whataburger patty melt, just like you like it.
Coming to Louisiana Tech University felt like I was coming home.
I toured about 6 months before it was supposed to be done with my senior year, and I just fell in love with the campus.
Everybody's so nice here. Everybody's very open and social, and I just love the environment.
I knew being on this campus, I would get the academic attention I needed to pursue my career. I chose Tech because the second I came on tour, it just felt like home, and everyone was so nice to me, and I love it. It's the best decision ever.
I have a voice. You have a voice.
We have a voice.
Our voices can be heard outside of sports.
As a student athlete, we have a platform.
Now more than ever.
It's important that we listen,
learn,
and lead,
and use our voices for change.
We can all do more.
Now is the time to make a difference.
This is our chance to make a better tomorrow.
Together, we will continue the conversation.
We have a voice.
So it'll be Louisiana Tech basketball. A bit of confusion after both players from the Lady Techsters and the Miners dive on the floor for the loose basketball. But it will be La Tech possession. They called the travel on Utep. But we were talking about it in the break, Victor. This is a team for Louisiana Tech that has to find a way to close games. They've been in so many tight contests as the year has gone along. The talent is certainly there. Brooke Storer has confidence in her ball club. This is shaping up to be a game where they have advantage. You've got to take advantage.
And I'm glad you got it cleared up about the travel and who had the ball, because that possession kind of encapsulates what they've been struggling with. You came down, you miss a wide open player on the block, you have a shot that goes awry, you kick one off your knee, you're diving on the floor. Most of the time, it's gone to the other team, and that's how it starts to unravel. So the fact that they can hold on to this possession, see if they can convert. These are those kind of possessions that you look back at and you say, boy, that cost us.
See what they can take advantage here with a full shot clock. Thanks to the turnover again from Utep. Now 11 turnovers compared to 5. The Miners have the 11.
Good defense by Zeta, who twice has stopped Morris, who wanted to drive the lane.
Lofted. Robertson all alone. She's going to make that 10 times out of 10.
Yes, indeed. And that's going to be 30 points now in the paint for Louisiana Tech. And that's the reason why I tell you that is because in conference play, the Lady Techsters have been outscored in the paint by 54 points. When you've got Robertson and you've got Brandon and you've got that kind of talent on the inside, that has been one of their weaknesses. Tonight, they have been able to find a way to get to the bucket.
Tinsaye starting to find that rhythm. You talked about the heat check from the Penn State transfer on the last possession. She tries it again. This time she connects.
Yeah, she's hit 3 field goals. All of them have been three-pointers. The only 2 she's missed have been from inside the line. And Guillory responds with a 3.
Quick answer from the Lady Techsters. That didn't take very long. Both teams starting to find a rhythm from downtown. 5 of 12 for La Tech, 4 of 8 for the Utep Miners. Tinsaye, why not? Do it again. Not going to happen. But an offensive board, and that will turn into 2. Asinde now has 15 on the night. Timeout La Tech to talk it over as their lead is cut back to 11.
When all of a sudden Asinde has made her way as the second leading scorer in this game with 15 behind Robertson, who has 16.
We've been treated to good post play from both sides, really. There's the Utep upcoming schedule. They're going to have to utilize that post play against some of the tougher competition in Conference USA. That Liberty team up at the top of the conference. That March 2nd matchup will be crucial, but they are at home where they're 9-4 on the season for those matchups with Jack State and the Flames.
Yeah, they'll end up with FIU, who currently stands second in the conference behind Middle Tennessee, who's undefeated in conference play and 21-4 overall.
There's that Middle Tennessee ball club. La Tech had a chance to beat them at home. They'll have a chance to return by going to Murfreesboro and knocking off Middle Tennessee back on March 9th. But 2 home games following this one.
Yeah, and that's why this game is so important after you've just lost tough ones here at home. To be able to get a win here tonight, try to get 2 or 3 under your belt since you end the season with back-to-back road games.
3:13 left here in the third. The TV and a little extra press here from the Utep side. Brandon kicks it from the logo. Tough take down low. Robertson with 18 points as she bullies her way to the paint.
And Brandon just challenged. She went all the way in as far as she could go, waiting to see if the defense would make a move. Nice bounce pass to Robertson to get it on the inside. Now 32 paint points.
Robertson now with 11 or more in 6 of her last 8 contests. Closing in on another great scoring output. Her season high is 27. Career best, of course, 44 against the Rice Owls back in 2022. That was the 5th best for a La Tech player all time. And we talked about that history, and she was able to match the jersey number against the Owls that season. She's been fantastic since then, as well as Asinde misses the first free throw.
So the season high for paint points for Louisiana Tech was 36, and that came January 20th in a home win against Jacksonville State when they outscored them 36-22. Since then, they've been outscored in the paint 6 of 7 games, and tonight they've got that advantage. So maybe we start seeing some correlations of success to wins where you're scoring your points. They have 32 tonight, so well on their way to setting a season high for paint points.
What does that say about the considerate effort from Brooke Storr to get the ball down low and try and build off of what that identity is as a ball club?
Well, and you build off of your leader and your preseason conference All-CUSA selection in Robertson, but it also speaks to those guards who've been able to drive the lane tonight.
That's an offensive foul. That'll go.
That's going to go on setting the screen. That's going to go on Worm for an illegal screen.
That's number 4.
That's going to be 4, and that quickly gets a teammate up to bring her in. That's going to be Thompson coming in, and she has 3 of her own.
Those fouls starting to dwindle.
Oh, they're going to leave her in. Actually, they're going to bring. Who did I see come in? I thought I was going to see her leaving the game with 4.
She's down there. Then you've got Thompson on the floor instead, and TV out there. There's a 3.
That was it. Worm made it to the bench before I could see her leave. That's why I was like, wait, where'd she go? That's why she's over there already.
She knew it immediately, and then a 3 on the opposite end as Utep continues to feed Tinsaye.
Tinsaye is going to make me start doing some research on what's her season high for 3-pointers in a game.
Her career high in points is 18. She has 12 in this one, all from beyond the arc, and a timeout called by La Tech. 1:50 remaining in the third. But we're talking about the fouls starting to add up. Worm has 4. She's out of the ball game. Kate Thompson is currently in the post. The junior forward has 3 of her own. And then, don't look now, but Robertson also has 3 fouls. So we mentioned it would play a factor after they started piling on in that first half.
Right.
We're not even to quarter number 4 yet, and it's starting to play a factor for Lady Techster Nation.
Well, and that's why we were talking about it early, even though we were talking about how would you like them spread out between players, but this is the reason why we made this note early in the ball game, that there was not a fluid feel to the game because of all the fouls, and it was kind of choppy throughout. Well, those fouls, when you see them piling up early like that, you kind of get a sign, all right, if this will be the way we play, we need to watch out. Now you got to start watching out. With 2 minutes to go here in the quarter, with some of these key players, especially in the paint and foul trouble, it's going to affect the way you want to go in. By the way, Tinsaye's career high is 5 made 3-pointers, and she's sitting on 4.
3 of which have come in the second half. La Tech still leading by 9, though Utep has started to close the gap a bit. Largest lead was 15 for the Lady Techsters in this quarter.
Boy, Zita's got a quick step on defense. Good pass on the inside. That's going to go.
Got it off.
They're going to make the motion that they want to review it, but I think she got that off in time.
I thought so as well. Would be the first make for Kate Thompson. 1:20 to play in the third. Back to double figures for Louisiana Tech. Zita. Now baseline. That's a drive and a push.
They're going to call the charge, dipping the shoulder. That's going to be Robin Lee drawing the contact on the baseline. They get her call for the charge. Take a look at the defense. Watch as she slides over. Once again, what do you see extend? You see that arm go up. It might not be the biggest amount of contact. It might not be as obvious, but if you extend like that, you're going to get that call.
Even whenever the feet aren't set from Lee, you're going to get the benefit of a whistle more times than not. Dribble handoff. Free throw, the pick and roll works great down low. Thompson can't finish the lay-in, but she'll go to the free throw line.
And you mentioned they're going to check that shot, or told you that they gave the motion. They want to review that shot by Thompson. If that field goal does go for Thompson, it's just her 3rd field goal made in the last 7 games. She'll have a chance to add some points here at the free throw line.
Appeared in 21 games last year. Missed 11 due to injury. Of course, transfer from Wisconsin, where she shot 43% from the field and also 43% from 3.
Well, obviously, they called that foul before the shot, since Louisiana Tech is going to inbounds baseline.
And it's going to be taken away.
Well, that's how Louisiana Tech lost that home game to FIU just 2 weeks ago. Could not inbound the ball. In that game, it was sidelines. Here, it's baseline. Heat check. Oh, she is on fire.
Tinsaye with her career high tying 5th 3 of the ball game, 4 in the third quarter. And just like that, Utep has some momentum. Down by 8 and with the basketball.
And there's a layup that you have an opportunity at the glass. It rolls out, and now the Miners have a chance basically to end this half and get that momentum going to the fourth quarter.
Zeta in the backcourt, looking for a screen. See if they find it to Tinsaye again. They feed it to her. Now she'll drive. Her floater on the baseline is well short. Corralled by Brannon. 4 to shoot in the frame. This one put up from way downtown. Of the fourth quarter. Here's a look at the buzzer beater from Gianna Morris. The freshman knocks it down from well beyond NBA range. Just saw the NBA three-point contest and WNBA Flair in Indianapolis, and she drills that one from another zip code.
So just to update you, and we certainly appreciate the officials when they come over to tell us because of all these review rules and what they can do. They did check both shots. We knew that the three-pointer was good, and they confirmed that. You and I both felt that that putback by Thompson beat the shot clock, where in fact they said it did not. So they'll take 2 points off the board. So instead of an 11-point lead going in the fourth quarter, it's now single digits in 9. Thompson does not get credit for that putback that happened on the lower right block. They said it came right after the buzzer.
And good on you to mention that they were going to go back and look at it. We have had the explanation, so it is a 9-point Louisiana Tech lead going to the break. But that three-pointer makes things look much differently now than it would have been. That 3 misses at the end of the third quarter there, and it's a 2-possession ball game all of a sudden.
And as choppy as this game has felt with some of these foul calls, how about in that quarter, Utep shoots 50%, Louisiana Tech shoots 57% on the game. The Lady Techs are shooting 51, Utep shooting 53. So as choppy as it has felt, both these teams doing very well on the offensive end.
No doubt. When they've got an opportunity to get a shot up, it usually goes in. This one does not, and the rebound is there for Asinde. UTEP starting to clamp down a little bit more defensively. What are they doing well down the stretch of that third quarter?
Well, that's good. Well, considering Louisiana Tech hit 5 of their last 6 shots when they took that one back, I would say Louisiana Tech was doing a pretty good job. I think what UTEP did is they're riding that hot-hitting shooting from Tinsaye with her three-pointers.
She does have a pump fake. This one from just inside the line. There's the hot shooting again.
She's now their leading scorer, and she's now second in the game. She passes Asinde, and she's 1 point behind Robertson.
1 point behind her career high as well. Brandon waits for a second. The hesitation opens up a gap. She takes it, but can't hit the open layup. And then a whistle afterwards as Asinde falls to the floor, and they call it travel.
You know, this is not trying to put the voodoo on anybody, but these are the kind of scenarios where you've got a hot shooter on the other team who's playing out of her mind, and then you get a great drive and an open look, and you overshoot the rim. Fortunate for Louisiana Tech that she got called for the travel, but these are the kind of plays that seem to come up and bite the Lady Techsters down the stretch. And you mentioned it earlier. Who's going to step up to make the play to get the win?
And Bates steps up there off the handoff from Robertson. Takes it baseline, had a clean path to the basket, and converts for 2.
Because you can't forget that UTEP has the conference's leading scorer in Asinde. The problem is Tinsaye's taking all the attention away because she's having almost a career night.
Here she is again off the screen. On the elbow, back up top for Petrie. Petrie scoreless in the game, not any longer. Takes that one all the way inside for her first make. That's another hand that Louisiana Tech can't afford to find some rhythm.
No, she's the top 3-point percentage shooter on this UTEP team. Nice turnaround from Robertson. Boy, she has really focused in tonight. You mentioned it, how Brooke Storrs looks like she's made it a point to try to get it to her in the paint, but 20 points on a very efficient 9 of 13 shooting.
A hometown prospect who's had so many great games in this arena throughout her career, adding another to the list. Here's Petrie. There's a foul called off of the screen. Asinde got upended by Brannon, and that will be her second.
Here you'll take a look at it. Asinde's on the left side of your screen. Free throw line extended, and you see Brannon just basically runs right over it. Didn't even see the screen. Robertson probably needs to give her a little heads up that somebody was waiting there, and Asinde was just sitting there knowing the contact was coming.
It'll actually be Brandon's third foul. She becomes the 4th Lady Techster with at least 3, and an and 1 on the opposite end. That's 4 for Robertson, and an and one for Asinde as the tides continue to turn in favor of Utep.
So now you're going to bring Thompson in for Robertson. Thompson has 3. Robertson will have to go to the bench. We kind of saw this coming. It was just a matter of, was it going to keep coming, or was there a way to try to avoid this trouble? Well, now you're in trouble.
Outside of that long 3 at the end of the third quarter from Morris, really feels like Utep has had the advantage over the last 5 or so minutes of gameplay.
Isn't it amazing what can happen when you have one player who steps up and has the hot hand, and the defense hasn't figured out how to adjust and stop her?
Lady Techsters need a bucket to stop the incoming Miners. Thompson looks left, gives it to Nativi, who drives baseline, had it tipped away, corralled by Petrie, and a foul called again on La Tech.
9th turnover of the game now for Louisiana Tech. They've played a fairly clean game, but that's now number 9, followed up by a foul. Nativi will come out. Vucevic will come back in. You know, you took the 2 points away on the review on Thompson's shot, so you wind up losing the third quarter by 2. But early on, you're losing this fourth quarter by 3. So a bit of a swing right there where you see that momentum starting to turn.
Lady Techsters outscored UTEP 24-17 in the second to help build their double-digit lead, at one point standing at 15. It's been cut down to 2 possessions. Zita lofts it back to Tinsaye. They give it to her again. Hot hand. Left it short. That one even looked good out of her hand again.
Vukovic is coming off the bench, but she has to know she can't roam back on help defense and leave her alone like that on the outside.
Thompson spins inside. They took the 1 bucket away early. She gets it back here.
So that now is her 3rd made basket in the last 6 or 7 games. Good for her to get that on the inside. Much needed for the Lady Techsters.
Straightaway 3. So hit that one early. He's had a career night as well. 11 points for the junior out of Senegal. And Asinde will be called for the hack here. Foul trouble not nearly as prevalent for UTEP as it is for Louisiana Tech, but that's the 3rd on Jane Asinde. First team foul of the fourth quarter for the UTEP Miners. 3 for La Tech.
Switch that too. They wound up calling that on foul number 22. They gave her the foul. That's her first. So Asinde still has 2. Both players in that area, but they called her for the hold.
That's significant.
It is. Oh, that's wide open.
Brandon on the backdoor cut, but she still can't finish the lay-in.
You can't ask for a better cut down the lane, wide open. There's not a blue jersey within 8 feet of her. Wide open. She just missed the layup.
Provides an ample opportunity for UTEP to call a timeout, collect, and continue the run. They chip away as this one has gone on. It's back down to an 8-point advantage for Louisiana Tech. What do these two have in store for the conclusion of this one? Still a long way to go here in the fourth quarter. 6 minutes left in Ruston.
This glorious Whataburger is yours. A few minutes ago, it didn't even exist. Why? Because every Whataburger is 100% fresh beef and made to order. That means we didn't start cooking it until this exact moment, right here, when you ordered it into existence. Whataburger, just like you like it.
Welcome to Trenton Dental Center and Trenton Sleep Solutions. I'm Dr. Paige Valentine, the official dentist of Louisiana Tech Athletics. Come see what we have to offer.
Time winding down in the 2023-24 regular season. Time winding down in this one. La Tech leading by 8. Here's a look at our Conference USA standings. Of course, the trip to Huntsville, Alabama, March 12th through 16th is still on the docket. Conference USA Championships taking a turn from Frisco now to Huntsville. And you see, Middle Tennessee has been at the top of this conference for quite some time. They made the trip to the big dance last year, won that final Conference USA Championships at the Star. Now they've got a chance to keep that momentum going, but things wide open. Outside of those top two, FIU's been tremendous as well, 9-2, but outside of that, there's a lot of moving and shaking that can happen.
One of those wins for FIU they stole here, but as we talked about, Louisiana Tech home game tonight, 2 more to go. You're 3-8. If you can if you win 2 of those, you've got 5 wins. If you win all 3, you're 6-8. And look where it pushes you up in the middle as you get ready for conference tournament play.
What a tremendous week that will be in Huntsville. This one let go from the top of the key. Rebound underneath for Salma Bates.
Quick hands by Bates, too, because it looked like Miners were going to get a putback opportunity. She stole it, and the drive, and one to go in. That's what Louisiana Tech needs. Gianna Morris, who ends the third quarter with that monster 3, driving the lane for more points in the paint and the layup, and a much-needed bucket for Tech.
Is fully extended on her way to the cup.
Now 40 points in the paint for the Lady Texans. That's a season high.
They lead that category by 10. Tight pass inside. Not a big window, but it was enough to lead Petrie to the rim.
And her only 2 buckets of the game have come, in the last about 3 minutes, right?
They've needed her to step up big. How about this one? Brandon knocks it down. She missed 2 open layups. She won't miss this one from deep.
That's her 5th made 3-pointer on the season. Remember, she missed much of the first part of the season coming back from that injury now. She's 5 of 11 from deep on the year.
Lined up with some confidence on that one. Doesn't look like a player who's only hit 5 on the year.
If you can't hit it from 2, hit it from 22, right? Line it up, be confident. Good on her to just put that shot back up after that miss of a wide open layup.
You hear it all the time. You got to have a short memory in collegiate athletics. This one thrown into the corner. Somehow Morris kept it in play. What an athletic grab to keep that one from traveling into the bench. And they're going to call 3 seconds down low on Kay Thompson.
On that catch in the corner, could you say that you got mossed or you got morsed?
That's morsed, for sure.
Oh, I mean, that's
no
a 2-hand extension, huh, in the corner to keep it alive.
That one would have counted on Sundays. Had both feet in bounds.
Yes, indeed. Tremendous catch.
Unfortunately for the Lady Techsters, it does not lead to a conversion on the opposite end. I think Kay Thompson was probably standing in the lane admiring the catch just like we were.
10 turnovers now for the Lady Texans, and that category has gotten better for the Miners, just 14. They were on pace to be well above their season average. Had very few turnovers here in the third quarter and the first 5.5 minutes of the fourth.
This one from just inside the line. Prodep with her longest make of the night. And again, Utep just not going away. This lead for Louisiana Tech is stuck right around the 9-11 mark over these last couple possessions. But the Miners also haven't had that one killer run to get right back in it. This one fouled on the drive for Bukovic.
And that's what Louisiana Tech needs. If you can just run consistent offense, not turn it over and have too many giveaways, you're eventually going to force the Miners. If you don't draw the foul by driving the lane, you're going to force them to foul you. And tonight, they've gone to the line 13 times, and they've hit 12. You can keep that kind of play up, you'll be able to walk out of here with a win.
It's been very efficient for the Lady Techsters at the line. That is a coach's best friend. When you can make freebies, that's going to go a long way to winning some basketball games.
Absolutely.
This one goes all the way in and out.
They're going to give her another one. It's a lane violation. She's going to get another shot.
So even on the one that doesn't go down for Louisiana Tech, they get a redo.
Cindy a little too eager to get into the lane. They called that on her.
This one falls as well. 4 points for Bukovic off the bench. Time dwindling for Utep to make a run. Under 4 to play. Pedrova back outside for Stanton. She can't hit. Offensive rebound there for Asinde. Now a fight down low and a foul called. This will be La Tech basketball. Kate Thompson battling for ground underneath. And now we've got a technical call against Utep. Coach Adams wants an explanation.
Now, Coach Adams, Keith Adams, I told you earlier, she came very close to getting teed up. She did a nice job of turning away earlier, but that time letting her frustrations be known, thinking it was a tied ball, laying into her team a little bit, as you can see there, giving them an earful. Here's a look at it again. Ball comes down, blocked on the shot, so play continues. There's the ball. She's screaming tie ball. Petrie has the ball like a running back. She's got both hands on it. They called the foul. Keith Adams did not agree, and she let the officials know about it.
I really think it was the right call on the foul. Just looking at our replay here, Petrie reached in to grab the ball from Thompson initially. You probably could have said something initially beforehand to say it as well. But Adams disagreed with something there. I think if there was a foul called, it would have been on La Tech and Thompson getting into the shooter there. They didn't call it there. Then you call it against Utep. That's where things started to unravel, and then Adams, of course, called for the Tech.
And in front of the Utep bench. So Adams thought she had a clean view.
Friendly roll on the first free throw from Bates. We talked about it earlier. La Tech has needed to finish games, and they're doing that right now. Now, you still have 3:37 left to play, but still a long way to go in this one. You can certainly see it moving momentum-wise back in favor of the Lady Texers.
Yeah, for Lady Texers and the fans that are here tonight, you feel much more comfortable. Not that you feel comfortable that this is in the books, but you'd rather them be pulling away with confidence with a 12-point lead instead of a 4 or 5-point lead. They put themselves in a position with their shooting at the free throw line, 15 to 17, 5 of 8 from the floor in this quarter.
And that one is a jump ball as Asinde got both hands on that one. There's a drive to the lane for Brannon. Possession arrow in favor of Utep.
Now let's see how much Utep tries to pick up the pace a little bit, seeing that the deficit's double digits. Do they try to play a little quicker? Do they try to put up shots a little faster? They sort of run their offense a little bit and try to work Asinde on the inside.
Tinsaye cut off by Brannon. This one tipped out of play. It'll stay with the Miners. Only 8 seconds to shoot for Utep because the ball didn't switch possession. You'd have to think, with the score being 78 for La Tech right now, Utep would have to get to 80 or 85 to even stand a chance here. Timeout called by La Tech. So, like you said, the pace needs to pick up. You can't set up in the half court every time down the floor from this point forward.
Well, if you're going to, then you need to execute very quickly. If there's something you want to run on the half-court offense, that's fine, but you need to get into it. You can't go with 8 seconds on the shot clock. You've got to get in it, run it, and take your chances, get a shot, try to get a rebound.
Now, this was the perfect possession defensively for La Tech. The only thing that would be more perfect is if Utep can't
shot clock violation or get a steal and keep them away from scoring. Here you see the foul trouble that we've been talking about, and you notice it's all Louisiana Tech. Earlier in this ball game, it was split very evenly, the number of players that had 2 fouls and for both teams, but it's been Louisiana Tech that in this category has gone the wrong direction. Robertson with 4, Worm with 4. You see all the players that have 3 fouls there with Brannon and Thompson and Nativi, who was on the bench. Robertson, your preseason All-Conference USA selection, is on the bench, but looks like Brooke Sayers getting ready to put her back in just a moment.
Really, when you look at the box score top to bottom, you may look at it and see Utep actually winning in most major categories. Rebounding, field goal percentage, as of that last shot, not so much. But it's really been La Tech that's taken advantage thanks to turnovers.
Yep, and now Brooke Store does send Robertson back to the scorer's table to check back in with her 4 fouls. At this stage, you're fine with that. You want to get one of your leaders on the team back on the floor.
Very happy with killing some shot clock here as well. Bates drives left, has a lane, and will draw the foul. Petrie nearly had a clean block, but made contact on her way down.
See, and so you went 22 seconds into the shot clock, but by moving the ball around, you find that opening, you drive the lane, and you draw the foul, because they're either going to let you go and you're going to get the easy 2, or they'll send you to the free throw line, and you've been excellent there tonight.
It has been a tough night for Utep. At one point trailing by 15, worked all the way back to a 2-possession game, and then now that's ballooned again as La Tech has a chance to continue to build now a 13-point advantage. And really, it's been a combination of efforts from the Lady Textures. 20 points from Robertson. You've got 17 from Bates here at the free throw line. This one off the back iron, could have tied her career high.
An odd stat line. The last field goal that was made was that big, long three-pointer by Brandon for Louisiana Tech. That was 3 minutes ago, yet Louisiana Tech has hit 5 of its last 6 field goals. They've been getting it done at the free throw line. They haven't had to shoot. Oh, that's a steal. Good hands. Yeah.
Stanton just took it away from Robertson under the bucket.
Well, here comes the pressure. If you need to be careful with this pressure, that's going to be an over and back if you're not careful.
It was tipped, though, and a foul called on Tinsai.
That's why we said, don't get comfortable. Don't get too comfortable. You feel better that it's a 12-point lead at the time we were talking about, but this is why you don't get comfortable, because it's plays like that that lead to absolute disasters. A full court press, you haven't seen it all game. The Miners give you the full court press. You're almost going to get an over and back, but it gets deflected, and then you wind up getting a foul by the Miners. And this is just a hot mess all the way around. That's a breakaway layup. Oh, but she gets tripped. That'll send Morris to the line.
And not even a ton of contact on the backside of it. You can see Tinsai just really trying to stay off of all the way through Morris, but Morris losing her footing. That's going to be the benefit of the ball handler more often than not.
She wants to hold off because she's going to try to jump over, take the ball, and go for a layup.
Had a chance of doing so as Morris puts up the second and hits that one. Like you said, no field goals in the last 3.5 minutes for La Tech, but they hit the 80-point mark anyway. This one kicked away, offensive foul. La Tech continues to try and put this one on ice.
Cindy that time with the call. Maya Brannon holding her position, playing defense as she draws the charge.
Now checking out Asinde with 3.
Louisiana Tech's been to the free throw line 8 times in this quarter alone, 21 on the game. Just 1 free throw attempt in the quarter for the Miners.
See how deep into the shot clock Coach Storer's team goes before they get their first shot attempt off. Even under the bucket, and there's another foul.
Yep.
Morris will continue to earn from the strike.
And this is why they're going to win this game tonight, because that's now the second or third possession here in a row where you took the shot clock under 10. The clock is your friend right now if you're Louisiana Tech, yet you still found a way to drive the lane, miss a field goal, but you're going to go to the free throw line. So they still haven't made a field goal, yet they're adding points on the board.
This has really, from top to bottom, just been an interesting game when it comes to the stat line. The box score makes absolutely no sense to those that are around this sport,
no.
but it certainly has turned out in favor of La Tech.
You're one of those where if we were teaching a math class or science class, you'd put the box score and say, all right, here's your assignment. Figure this out. Make this make sense.
Here?
Right, exactly. I want you to look at this page. I'm going to show you the final score, and your homework tonight is to make this make sense.
10 points now for Morris, the third Lady Texter, into double figures. Fade away, this one off the mark, secured by Robertson, who of course hit 900 career rebounds on the night. The Lady Texters well on their way to a home win, and a much needed one at that in conference play.
See, look how smart that is. She get an inbounds pass on the block with 18 seconds to go, but Morris dribbles it out. Why? Because she's now just taken another 12 seconds off the shot clock.
You can see Utep very happy with the way that this one was early, but that has since gone away. Robertson turns to the bucket and has an and one.
So you had a teammate get the ball in the exact same position on the floor 15 seconds earlier. Instead, Morris dribbles it out. They swing it around. Now you go to Robertson on the inside, who gets the body contact, kisses it off the glass.
Robertson continues to have a great night. This one, 23 points on the board. Largest lead for La Tech. What I was going to say was Utep happy not fouling. They kind of see where this one's headed.
Absolutely.
They'll take it to the rim, and that'll be a blocking foul. 2 shots to come for the Miners. We talked about it. Utep has some tough games ahead of them. They get back home inside the Haskins Centers on February 29th, but before that, they go on the road to Sam Houston on Saturday, 1 p.m. tip against the Bearcats. Louisiana Tech at home for a couple. They've got New Mexico State and Western Kentucky. 3 straight home games for the Lady Techsters. They get underway at 2 p.m. Central Time on ESPN Plus this Saturday. Second one falls for So.
By the way, can I mention, it's been great working a game with you.
Absolutely.
Can I mention good luck to you? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's do it, especially from somebody with your experience.
Mention good luck. It's a pleasure working with you, but I know you're headed back home because your beautiful wife is, what, a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks tops at delivering triplets, and this is the oh-so-rare tag team announcing team of 2 dads, one that has triplets, that would be me, and one that's about to have triplets, and you. I bet you, we have to look that up. I don't think you're going to find that in many places.
That might be the first time in ESPN Plus history,
yes,
or maybe broadcasting history, that's happened.
So congratulations early, and also best of luck to you and your wife and your family.
Well, thank you very much. It's a La Tech win inside the Thomas Assembly Center